There is a quiet world that begins after you turn off the lights. The house becomes still. The sounds of the day slowly disappear. The television goes silent, the dishes have been put away, and somewhere beneath the soft glow of a street lamp, your cat opens its eyes. Perhaps you thought your cat was sleeping. And, in a way, it probably was. But cats have never been particularly interested in following the same schedule as humans. While you prepare for bed, your cat may begin another small chapter of its day. It might stretch slowly across the carpet, walk toward a dark hallway, pause beside a window, and listen. There is no emergency. Nothing dramatic is happening. The night is simply beginning. Cats are fascinating creatures because their lives are divided between long periods of rest and brief moments of quiet activity. They may sleep for many hours during a day, but their sleep is not always one long, uninterrupted period like ours. Instead, cats often move gently between sleeping, waking, watching, stretching, and exploring. Their ancestors were small hunters, and some of the habits of those animals still remain hidden inside the comfortable lives of modern house cats. So tonight, rather than trying to stay awake and discover everything your cat does after dark, you can simply let the story unfold. Imagine your home at midnight. The rooms are dim. The curtains move slightly with the air from a window. Your cat walks silently across the floor. Its paws make almost no sound. It stops. It listens. Then it continues. Perhaps it visits the kitchen. Perhaps it looks beneath a chair. Perhaps it sits beside the window and watches something you cannot see. To your cat, this is not mysterious. It is simply another ordinary night. And as we slowly follow this quiet nighttime routine, there is no need to rush. You can let your breathing become slower. You can let your thoughts become softer. Because tonight, we are entering the secret nightlife of the domestic cat. A world of whiskers, moonlight, quiet footsteps, warm blankets, distant sounds, and ancient instincts. And somewhere in the darkness, your cat is probably awake. The first thing to understand about a cat at night is that darkness does not mean the same thing to a cat as it does to a human. For us, a dark room can feel empty. For a cat, it is simply a different environment. Cats have eyes that are especially useful in low-light conditions. They cannot see in complete darkness, of course, because eyes still need at least some light to form an image. But when there is a small amount of available light, a cat can make surprisingly good use of it. This ability comes from the structure of the feline eye. Behind the retina is a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. It helps send available light back through the retina, giving the eye another opportunity to detect it. This is one reason a cat's eyes can appear to glow when a flashlight catches them at night. The effect can look almost magical. But there is nothing supernatural about it. It is simply biology quietly doing its work. Imagine your cat sitting near a window at 2 in the morning. Outside, the neighborhood is almost silent. A few distant headlights pass along the road. A porch light shines across a driveway. The moon may be hidden behind clouds. To you, the room looks nearly black. To your cat, there are still small differences in brightness and movement. A branch moves. A shadow changes. Something passes in the distance. Your cat notices. It may lift its head. Its ears turn. Its eyes become focused. Then, after a few seconds, nothing happens. The cat relaxes again. This is one of the quiet patterns of feline life. Notice. Wait. Listen. Relax. Notice again. There is no need for constant excitement. The nighttime world simply provides information, and your cat quietly collects it. Perhaps this is why a cat can sit beside a window for 10 minutes without appearing bored. It is not necessarily waiting for something dramatic. It may simply be observing. An observation, for a cat, can be an activity all by itself. So while the human household sleeps, your cat may spend part of the night simply watching the darkness. Quietly. Patiently. Without needing to explain what it sees. There is another reason your cat may become active in the evening. It has to do with a word that is often used when talking about animal behavior: crepuscular. Crepuscular animals are most active around dawn and dusk. Cats are often described this way because many of their natural activity patterns occur around these quieter periods of the day. That means your cat may not truly be a creature of the midnight hours. Instead, it may simply have a schedule that overlaps with the edges of night. When the sun begins to disappear, the world becomes cooler and quieter. Birds settle down. People return home. The streets become less busy. And your cat may begin to wake from another period of rest. Perhaps it stretches. The front legs extend forward. The back arches slightly. The tail rises. Then comes a slow walk through the room. There is something wonderfully ordinary about this. No dramatic music. No mysterious adventure. Just a cat stretching after a nap. The body has been still for a while, and movement gradually returns. The muscles loosen. The joints move. The cat walks a few steps and pauses. Maybe it heads toward the food bowl. Maybe it checks the hallway. Maybe it jumps onto a couch and settles down again. This is important because cats are not always doing something when they are awake. Sometimes they are simply awake. They may sit. They may groom. They may look around. They may move from one comfortable place to another. To a human observer, this can seem pointless. But animals do not need every moment to have a visible purpose. A cat can spend several minutes staring at a wall because there may be something worth listening to. Or because there is nothing else demanding attention. And that quiet quality is part of what makes nighttime cats so interesting. The night does not have to be exciting. It can be slow. A room. A window. A soft carpet. A warm blanket. A sleepy animal moving quietly through familiar spaces. As you listen, you might imagine your own cat somewhere nearby. Perhaps it is already asleep. Or perhaps, without you knowing it, those eyes have opened again. And the small nighttime journey continues. One of the most remarkable things about a cat moving through the house at night is how quietly it can travel. A cat's paws are designed for silent movement. The soft pads beneath its feet help reduce the sound of each step. The claws can also be kept retracted while walking, allowing the cat to move across many surfaces without the sharp clicking sound that a dog might make. So imagine a hallway at 3 in the morning. There is no television. No conversation. Only the faint hum of an appliance somewhere in the house. Then, almost invisibly, a small shape appears at the end of the hallway. Your cat walks forward. One paw. Then another. The body remains low and balanced. The tail moves gently. There is no hurry. Cats are naturally good at controlling their movements because their bodies are built for balance and coordination. The flexible spine helps them turn. Their shoulders move independently. Their paws provide traction. And their whiskers help them gather information about the space around their face. Whiskers are not simply decorative hairs. They are sensitive structures connected to the nervous system and can help cats detect changes in their surroundings. A cat moving through a narrow space may use its whiskers as part of its sensory system. The whiskers can help provide information about nearby objects and air movement. So when your cat walks through a dark room, it is not depending only on its eyes. It is gathering information from several senses at once. Sight, hearing, smell, touch, and those remarkable whiskers. The result is an animal that can move through familiar spaces with extraordinary confidence. Your home may feel completely different when the lights are off. But to your cat, it is still a familiar territory. The couch is still there. The table is still there. The hallway is still there. And the favorite sleeping spot is still waiting. Perhaps the cat reaches that spot and curls into a small circle. The nighttime exploration is over. For now. The house becomes quiet again. And somewhere between one soft breath and the next, your cat falls asleep. Cats are famous for sleeping. A healthy adult cat can spend a large portion of its day resting, sometimes sleeping for 12 hours or more over a 24-hour period. Some cats may sleep even longer. This can seem surprising when we compare them with humans. But cats are not simply being lazy. Sleep is an important part of their biology. A cat's ancestors lived lives that required short periods of intense physical activity followed by long periods of rest. Hunting takes energy. Climbing takes energy. Running takes energy. Even the careful process of watching and waiting requires attention. Rest allows the body to recover. So when your cat spends an afternoon curled up on a blanket, it may be doing something very sensible. It is conserving energy. And cats have become exceptionally good at finding comfortable places to rest. A warm patch of sunlight. The corner of a couch. A folded blanket. The space beneath a chair. A cardboard box. Sometimes the most expensive cat bed in the house is ignored in favor of an ordinary piece of clothing. No one really knows why cats seem to have such strong opinions about sleeping locations. Perhaps comfort matters. Perhaps temperature matters. Perhaps familiarity matters. Or perhaps cats simply enjoy making their humans wonder. At night, these sleeping habits continue. A cat may sleep deeply for a while. Then wake. Stretch. Groom itself. Walk to another room. Look through a window. And return to sleep. This creates a rhythm that is different from the human pattern of going to bed and staying there until morning. For a cat, the night can contain several small periods of activity. There may be no clear beginning or ending. Just rest. Wakefulness. Movement. Rest again. If you ever hear your cat walking around at night, it does not necessarily mean something is wrong. It may simply be following its natural pattern. And after a few quiet minutes of wandering, it may return to the warmest place it can find. Curling its body. Closing its eyes. And becoming, once again, just another sleepy shape in the darkness. Now imagine the kitchen after midnight. The refrigerator hums softly. A small light glows from somewhere near the counter. The rest of the house is still. Your cat enters. Perhaps it is hungry. Or perhaps it is simply curious. Cats have strong senses of smell, and scent plays an important role in how they understand the world. To a human, the kitchen may smell like almost nothing. To a cat, it can contain layers of information. The smell of food. The smell of another animal. The scent of people who have passed through. The familiar smell of its own home. Cats use scent as a kind of invisible map. They can recognize familiar smells and notice changes. This is one reason a new object placed in a familiar room can attract a cat's attention. A cardboard box arrives. The cat investigates. A new piece of furniture appears. The cat investigates. A shopping bag is placed on the floor. The cat investigates. Sometimes the investigation lasts longer than the object deserves. But from the cat's perspective, every unfamiliar scent is information. At night, when there are fewer distractions, these small details may become easier to notice. Your cat might walk toward the kitchen. Pause near a cabinet. Sniff the air. Look around. Then move away. Nothing happened. And that is exactly the point. The nighttime life of a cat is often made of moments in which nothing dramatic happens. There are no battles. No great discoveries. No secret missions. Just small observations repeated again and again. A smell. A sound. A movement. A familiar corner. A warm place. This is what makes a sleepy science story about cats so peaceful. The subject is fascinating without needing to become exciting. You do not have to wonder what happens next. You can simply follow the cat. It walks through the quiet kitchen. Its tail moves slowly behind it. The floor is cool beneath its paws. The refrigerator continues humming. And after a few moments, the cat turns around. It has decided that the kitchen has nothing else to offer tonight. So it walks away. Back into the darkness. Back toward its favorite room. Back toward sleep. A cat's ears are another reason nighttime can be so interesting. Human ears are useful, but cats have an impressive ability to detect sounds from their environment. The shape of the feline ear allows it to collect sound, while the muscles around the ears help the cat adjust their position. If you have ever watched a cat suddenly turn one ear toward a sound while keeping the rest of its body completely still, you have seen this system at work. The cat does not need to run toward the sound. It can simply listen. Imagine your cat sitting in the hallway. One ear points toward the kitchen. The other turns slightly toward a window. Somewhere outside, a vehicle passes. The cat waits. A few seconds later, there is another tiny sound. Perhaps a branch touches the roof. Perhaps a distant bird moves. Perhaps another animal is walking somewhere outside. The cat hears it, but it does not necessarily react. This is important. Cats hear many things that humans never notice. Most of those sounds are not important enough to deserve action. So the cat listens, decides, and relaxes. This ability to ignore most sounds while paying attention to unusual ones is part of living in a world full of information. For a house cat, the nighttime environment can be especially quiet. During the day, there may be conversations, televisions, appliances, footsteps, cars, doors, and many other noises. At night, those sounds become less frequent. A cat can hear the small things between them. The quiet click of a heating system. The soft movement of curtains. The distant sound of rain. A floorboard settling. Perhaps this is why a cat sometimes appears to stare into an empty room. It may not be staring at anything at all. It may simply be listening. There is something calming about that image. A sleeping household. A quiet room. A cat sitting patiently in the middle of it. Its ears move once. Then again. Then become still. The sound disappears. The cat lowers its head. And the night continues. There is a particular nighttime activity that almost every cat owner eventually notices. Grooming. A cat may suddenly wake from sleep, sit upright, and begin cleaning its fur. The process can look almost ceremonial. First, the cat licks one paw. Then it uses that paw to clean its face. The movement is slow and repetitive. Then perhaps the chest. The shoulder. One side of the body. Then the other. For a cat, grooming is much more than keeping the fur neat. It is an important part of normal behavior. A cat's tongue has tiny structures called papillae that help remove loose material from the coat. Grooming can also help distribute natural oils across the fur. And because cats spend so much time grooming, the activity becomes part of their daily rhythm. Imagine the house at 1 in the morning. You are asleep. The lights are off. Your cat wakes from a short nap. It sits beside the sofa. For a few minutes, the only movement in the room is the slow motion of its head. Lick. Pause. Clean. Pause. Another small movement. There is something almost meditative about it. The cat is not rushing. There is nowhere to go. The grooming itself becomes a quiet routine. Eventually, the cat finishes. It stretches one front leg, then the other. Perhaps it yawns. Then it settles down again. This is one of the reasons cats can appear so peaceful. Their lives contain many repetitive behaviors. Walking, stretching, grooming, sleeping, waking, eating, watching, repeating. Humans often feel that repetition is boring. For a cat, repetition can be comforting. A familiar routine means a familiar environment. And familiar environments are generally safe. So as the night becomes quieter, your cat may return to one of its oldest habits. Cleaning itself. Preparing its fur. Preparing its body. And preparing, perhaps, for another long period of sleep. Perhaps the most mysterious part of a cat's nighttime behavior is the window. Many cats seem to love sitting near windows after dark. There may be no television, no food, no toy, just glass separating the cat from the outside world. And yet the cat watches. Outside, the neighborhood has changed. During the day, people walk along sidewalks. Cars move through the streets. Children play. Birds fly between trees. At night, everything becomes slower. Streetlights illuminate small patches of pavement. A porch light shines against a wall. A distant vehicle passes. And shadows move across the ground. For a cat, this can be a quiet source of stimulation. The window provides a safe place from which to observe. The cat does not have to go outside. It can simply watch. Sometimes another animal may pass. A raccoon. A possum. Another cat. Perhaps a bird resting somewhere nearby. The indoor cat may notice. Its body becomes slightly more alert. The ears move. The eyes focus. The tail may twitch. But then the animal outside disappears. The cat remains. Nothing else happens. And after a while, the cat settles again. There is no need for every observation to become an event. A window is almost like a small theater where the show changes very slowly. A moving shadow. A falling leaf. A distant light. A person walking home. Then darkness again. For humans, this might become boring. For a cat, it can be perfectly acceptable. Cats are naturally curious, but curiosity does not always mean action. Sometimes curiosity simply means watching. And perhaps that is a lesson worth borrowing from them. Not every moment needs to be productive. Not every silence needs to be filled. Sometimes you can simply sit beside a window and watch the world become quiet. Your cat already understands this. It watches. It waits. And when the world outside finally becomes still, the cat closes its eyes. The window remains dark. The room remains warm. And another small part of the night passes peacefully. There is another nighttime mystery that cat owners often notice. The sudden burst of energy. One moment, the cat is sleeping peacefully. The next moment, it is running down the hallway. It jumps onto the couch. Then across the room. Then perhaps it stops as suddenly as it started. These moments are sometimes called the zoom years. They can happen at almost any time, but evening is a common period for them. Why? Part of the answer may simply be energy. A cat can sleep for many hours, and when it wakes, it may have energy that needs somewhere to go. For a young cat especially, running and jumping are normal forms of physical activity. There is also the connection to natural hunting behavior. A cat's body is designed for short bursts of movement rather than long-distance running. The pattern is often something like this: rest, observe, move, chase, stop, rest again. In the wild, a small feline hunter would not spend hours sprinting continuously. Instead, it might wait quietly before making a brief, energetic movement. The domestic cat still carries some of that pattern. So when your cat suddenly races across the living room at midnight, it may not be trying to disturb your sleep. It may simply have reached a moment when movement feels appropriate. The burst usually ends as quickly as it begins. The cat slows down. It looks around. Perhaps it sits. Perhaps it grooms itself. And then, after all that unnecessary-looking excitement, it goes directly back to sleep. There is something almost amusing about the contrast. A creature can spend 20 minutes doing absolutely nothing. Then spend 30 seconds running like a tiny athlete. Then return to doing absolutely nothing. And perhaps that is perfectly reasonable. The cat is not trying to optimize its schedule. It is simply responding to its body. Energy arrives. Energy is used. Rest returns. The house becomes quiet again. And somewhere down the hallway, the cat curls up as if nothing happened at all. There is a quiet moment that often happens just before a cat decides where to sleep. It may walk around the room without any obvious destination. Perhaps it passes the couch, then the table, then a chair. It stops beside a blanket, sniffs it, moves away, then comes back. Finally, after what seems like a great deal of consideration, the cat chooses a place. Cats can be surprisingly selective about where they rest. Temperature is one reason. A warm place can be especially attractive because cats naturally seek comfortable temperatures. This is why a cat may choose a sunny patch during the afternoon and a warm blanket at night. But comfort is not only about warmth. Cats also seem to care about security. A sleeping animal is vulnerable. Even though your indoor cat may live in a completely safe home, many of its instincts were shaped by ancestors that needed to be careful while resting. A protected corner can therefore feel especially comfortable. A place beneath furniture. A corner of a couch. A small bed surrounded by familiar smells. Or perhaps the end of your own bed. The choice can change from night to night. Tonight, your cat might sleep near the window. Tomorrow, it might choose the hallway. Another night, it may decide that the exact center of your blanket is the best possible location. And there is no need to understand the decision. The cat simply knows. Once the spot has been chosen, the body begins to relax. The paws tuck underneath. The tail wraps around the body. The head lowers. The eyes become heavy. The breathing slows. For a few moments, the cat may remain awake, listening, feeling the softness beneath its body, smelling the familiar air of the room. Then the muscles gradually loosen. The world outside becomes less important. The room becomes quiet. And sleep arrives. Perhaps that is one of the gentlest things about living with a cat. Even in a busy world, a cat can stop. Find a comfortable place. And simply rest. No schedule. No unfinished emails. No tomorrow's problems. Just warmth. Silence. And sleep. When a cat sleeps, it may look completely still. But sleep is not always as simple as it appears. Cats experience different stages of sleep, including periods of deeper sleep and periods associated with dreaming. You may have seen this yourself. Your cat is lying peacefully on a blanket. Then one tiny paw moves. Perhaps the whiskers twitch. The ears shift slightly. The tail makes a small movement. And for a moment, you wonder what could possibly be happening inside that sleeping head. Scientists believe cats, like many mammals, can experience REM sleep, a stage of sleep associated with vivid brain activity and dreaming in humans. We cannot ask a cat what it dreams about. Perhaps it dreams about chasing something. Perhaps it remembers a familiar place. Perhaps there is no story at all. Just patterns of activity inside a sleeping brain. Whatever the explanation, those tiny movements can make a sleeping cat look almost as if it is living another little life inside its dreams. Imagine your cat curled up in the darkness. The house is silent. The refrigerator hums faintly in the kitchen. Outside, the street is almost empty. Your cat's breathing is slow. Then one paw moves. Just once. The whiskers tremble. The cat remains asleep. Nothing needs to be done. There is nowhere to go. The dream passes quietly. Then the body becomes still again. Sleep is important because the brain and body need time to recover. For an animal that spends so much of its life resting, sleep is not wasted time. It is part of normal life. And perhaps this is another reason cats seem so naturally comfortable with nighttime. They do not need to make the entire night active. They can wake for a little while. Explore. Listen. Groom. Eat. Watch the window. Then return to sleep. The night becomes a series of gentle transitions. Awake. Sleep. Dream. Wake. Rest. And eventually, morning will arrive. But for now, there is nothing to hurry toward. The darkness remains outside. The blanket remains warm. And your cat continues sleeping peacefully. If you have ever wondered whether your cat knows that you are asleep, the answer is probably more complicated than it first appears. Cats are very good at noticing routines. They learn when people wake up. They learn when food usually appears. They learn the sounds of familiar footsteps. They recognize voices. And they can become familiar with the patterns of an entire household. So when the lights go off and everyone becomes quiet, your cat may understand that the household has entered another part of its daily rhythm. Perhaps you always turn off the same lamp. Perhaps you close the same door. Perhaps you climb into bed at almost the same time every night. Your cat notices these repeated events. Animals are excellent observers of patterns. A routine makes the environment predictable. And predictable environments can be comforting. This may explain why some cats appear to know exactly when their humans are preparing for bed. The cat might follow you into the bedroom. Or it may remain in the living room. Either way, it knows something has changed. The house is becoming quieter. The lights are disappearing. The sounds of activity are fading. And now the nighttime routine begins. Maybe your cat settles beside you for a while. Maybe it chooses a chair. Maybe it walks away and finds its own private sleeping place. There is no universal feline bedtime. Every cat is different. Some are social sleepers. Others prefer their own space. Some will happily curl up beside their human. Others will wait until everyone is asleep before beginning their quiet exploration. But even when a cat chooses independence, it may still remain connected to the household. It knows where everyone is. It knows the familiar smells. It knows the rooms. It knows the sounds. The home is its territory. And nighttime simply changes the way that territory feels. The same sofa looks different in darkness. The same hallway sounds different when nobody is walking through it. The same window becomes more interesting when the outside world grows quiet. Your cat experiences these changes in its own way. And while you sleep, it continues to move through a familiar world. Not necessarily searching for anything. Just living. Quietly. Comfortably. One slow moment at a time. A cat's tail can tell a surprisingly quiet story. During the day, you may notice it moving in different ways. Sometimes it rises. Sometimes it curls. Sometimes it flicks from side to side. And when a cat is resting at night, the tail may simply wrap around its body. This is partly about comfort. The tail can help the cat maintain a comfortable body position while sleeping. It can also become a familiar source of warmth. Imagine your cat curled into a small circle on a soft blanket. Its nose rests near its paws. Its tail lies gently across its body. The shape is almost perfectly designed for rest. The room is cool. The blanket is warm. The cat's body has found a comfortable balance. There is something deeply peaceful about the curled sleeping position. It reduces exposed surface area and allows the animal to tuck its body into itself. But the tail is also part of feline communication. Cats use body position, movement, ears, eyes, and facial expressions to communicate. A slowly moving tail can mean something different from a rapidly flicking one. A relaxed tail is different from a tense tail. And sometimes the meaning depends on the entire body rather than one feature. At night, however, there may be very little communication happening at all. Your cat may simply be resting. The tail becomes still. The ears relax. The eyes close. The muscles loosen. And the animal becomes almost motionless. If you were to watch from across the room, you might see only a small shape beneath the moonlight. Perhaps the chest rises gently. Then falls. Rises. Falls. The rhythm continues. There is no need to disturb it. No need to wake the cat. No need to understand every movement. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply allow the sleeping animal to remain asleep. The night belongs to quiet things. A soft blanket. A sleeping cat. A distant sound outside. And the gentle rhythm of breathing. For a few minutes, everything can remain exactly as it is. Still. Warm. And peaceful. There is one part of the nighttime world that your cat may experience much more strongly than you do. Smell. A cat's sense of smell is highly developed, and scent can provide important information about its environment. The air inside your home is never truly empty. It carries countless tiny traces. The smell of food prepared earlier. The scent of furniture. The familiar smell of your clothes. The smell of another animal. The scent of outdoors entering through an open window. Humans usually notice only the strongest smells. A cat experiences the world differently. Its nose can detect information that is almost invisible to us. This becomes especially interesting at night. When the house is quiet, your cat may spend time investigating places it already knows. It might sniff the corner of a doorway. A bag left near the kitchen. A blanket. A window. A place where another pet has recently been. Nothing has changed dramatically. But scents are constantly changing. A smell fades. Another appears. Air moves from one room to another. The cat notices. This is one reason cats may spend time sniffing something that seems completely uninteresting to their human companions. For the cat, it is information. Perhaps the scent is familiar. Perhaps it is new. Perhaps it simply needs to be checked. The investigation may last a few seconds. Then the cat moves on. This quiet process happens again and again throughout the night. Sniff. Pause. Observe. Continue. There is no hurry. And perhaps that is the rhythm we should imagine as we think about a cat's secret nighttime world. It is not a world filled with dramatic events. It is a world filled with tiny details. The smell of the room. The temperature of the floor. The sound of a distant vehicle. The texture of a blanket. The movement of air near a window. For a cat, these details form the environment. And while you lie quietly in bed, your cat may be moving through those details one by one. Slowly. Carefully. Almost silently. Then, when there is nothing new to discover, the cat finds a comfortable place and rests again. The night continues. And the house remains peaceful.